everyone, Jem here and welcome to my creative space. Hi everyone and welcome back, and I'm going to say Happy Christmas to those of you who celebrate, because today I'm recording the prompt for the 25th of December. I've got to be really honest with you and say it's actually the 24th when I'm recording this, but it'll go out on the 25th, so I hope you are have had, or whatever, a good day. All right. Now, I've got a little bit of a Christmas favour to ask if you're watching this. I've had this little YouTube channel going since July this year, and I've been really enjoying it. And I'm not doing this for money or to have you know, a second income or anything. I do it to feel part of the crafting community, because we live very rurally and it's very difficult for me to go to things and join in with craft things physically. So this is my way of participating and feeling like I'm part of something. But right now, as of recording this, I have 95 subscribers. And do you know what, guys? If I could get to 100 before the end of December, you would make my absolute year. So if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, do me a favour, spread a little bit of Christmas cheer and just hit that subscribe button. It also enables you to see other stuff, and I'm going to carry on this channel into the new year, and it helps others see this too. So that done, where are we going today? We are going double tag and mechanical garden. Right, now I've given this a little bit of thought, and my mechanical element of this is going to come from a waterfall card. Now, if you've never seen a waterfall card, carry on watching and I will give you a brief idea about how to make them. But basically it's a great way of, if you've got a whole load of pictures or photographs or whatever that you want on one page in your journal, it's a really good way of displaying them. Now, I learned this technique as a card maker, but it translates really well into journals, and so that's going to be the mechanical part of my page today. And the garden part, I have a whole load of scraps and things that I've harvested from magazines. Good old New Zealand House and Garden. It's a wonderful, and you'll see I bought this in a charity shop for 50 cents. Great magazine for harvesting pictures. So I've been through my magazine and using an old playing card as a template, I have cut a number of pictures, garden pictures, and this is where my garden element is going to come. And I've tried to, you will see, I've tried to sort of limit my colour palette, and I've actually tried to pick things that I see in my own garden. This is our beautiful New Zealand tui, and at this time of year we have lots of the flax flowers out, which look like this, and the tuis are nectar eaters, so we have lots and lots of them on our flaxes at the moment. So there's lots of there's a few pictures here to choose from. As I say, I've tried to keep the colour palette quite limited, and those are going to be my pictures on my waterfall card, and they measure around about 2.5 by 3.5. And I've also cut, this is some scrapbook paper with a lovely little bit of glitter in it. I don't know whether you can see that. And I'm going to use these to back those pictures, so that when the waterfall card flips up, you'll see an attractive back as well. So I'm going to mount those. Oh, and the other thing I've cut is a couple of pieces of card for my waterfall card. And as I say, I will give some explanation about that as we go through. And the other thing I have done is I've pulled this out, and this is a gel print which I did recently, and I just love this, and I've been looking for somewhere to use it in my journal, and I think I'm going to use this as sort of a background for my page today. And I'm going to pop it here because this page opposite has come from a book called The Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. And on here is a whole list of different flowers with their Latin names, and I think that's quite appropriate to go with the garden theme that we're going to create. So without further ado, I'm going to cut this and use it as a background for my page, and then I'll get into making the waterfall card. So as you can see, I've applied that gel print as a background there. I really wanted to do a mixed media background today, but in all honesty, I just don't have the time. But what I am planning is in the first sort of couple of weeks of January, I'm going to go through my dephemerember journal and add into any pages that haven't been used during the challenge. And I think that's the time when I will be doing a bit more mixed media work. So I'll put some of those videos up and you can have a look and see what I do. But so in the meantime, I've stuck that in. I may put a little bit of a border or some colour around it. We'll see when it's finished. But for now, that can sit and dry. And let's have a look at the waterfall card. So I've these measure around about 3.5 by 2.5 inches. And I've stuck those onto that scrapbook card backing. Now I've also cut a strip of card, and I've inked the edges of all of these as well, and my card, which irritatingly I discovered was white core after I bought it. Anyway, these, as I say, measure about 2.5, so I've cut my strip at round about 2 inches. Now I know some people will cut them exactly to the size of their pictures. I prefer to do them just fractionally smaller. So if you've never seen a waterfall card, I will attempt to give you a brief explanation. So I turn that way. Need a ruler, pencil and something to score with. And what I'm going to do to start with is I'm going to measure around about 2 inches up. And I hope my head is not going to get in the way here. So I'm going to measure, that's a horrible pencil, isn't it? I'm going to measure 2 inches up, and then I'm going to measure up in 1/2 inch just looking around my desk, hold on, that might be a better pencil. So I'm measuring up in 1/2 inch increments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that should be enough. So our first card is going to go on there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I might not need that last one, so we won't do that last one for now. Right, and then you need to score across. There we go, and fold along each of those score lines. And when you fold, make sure that you're keeping the sides lined up and everything accurate. Let's not be lazy, let's grab my bone folder. And you can see, because this is white core card, where I'm folding it, I'm getting that white showing through. So white core card is just card which is made up of, all cards made up of layers, but with white core card the inner layers are white and the outer layers are coloured, and therefore when you cut it or fold it like this, you see the white, which can be really irritating. It can be overcome, of course. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I am going to need that last one. I can never quite figure it out. I do it, I work it out as I go along. Yeah, so with the white core card, as I say, it's just a case of sometimes you have to do a little bit more inking. Now I'm going to go through and fold all those back on themselves as well, the other way, and I will ink any bits that I need to. This is where I have to think. That's it. So you need to decide which order you want your photos in. Right, I'm just going to check. Yep, I can still see. Okay. So if this is the photograph which I want on top, which it is, that needs to go there. So in some ways you have to work now in reverse order. But before you stick your pictures on, the other thing you need is a tab, and I find this easier to put on first. So I'm probably not making too much sense right now, but that's okay. You need a thin strip of band like that, and again, I'm just going to ink the edge of it. Now this band needs to be glued down on that last tab there. Now I'm going to have a photograph over the top of it, so I'm going to sandwich that strip in between my photograph and the base piece. So I'm just going to put some glue. You're going to work in reverse order for your photographs. Actually, just looking, you know, that one is so like the gel print. I think I'm actually going to have that as my top one. So whatever order really kind of suits you, floats your boat. That looks good. Well, let's swap those two around. Try not to be too indecisive. Alright, and then you're going to turn over and start with the bottom one. So the bottom photo is going to glue onto there. And you want to line the top, I hope my head's not in the way there, just in front of the crease that you've made. Okay, so that that still has room to move. Okay, all will make sense in a minute. So take your next photo, and again, just fractionally in front of that crease. And of course you want to make sure that there's no glue coming down onto this bit. Right, so what you will now see is if I hold the bottom piece, no, if I hold this bottom piece and pull, there's your waterfall effect. Alright, and you get to see all those beautiful pictures. So what you need to do now is to take this, and you'll see the purpose of this tab, or this band, whatever you would like to call it. You fold it around the back, like that, and now I'll take a little bit of vellum, that'll do, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue, if I undo it, I'm going to glue this tab together, or this band, to make a complete circle, but I do not want, and see, I put too much glue on there, so that's all coming out. What you don't want, which is exactly what has happened, is the glue going onto the back of. You think you need to be able to, that's it. So you need to have that not stuck down. It will make sense in a second. Normally I put a little bit of vellum or acetate or something that's not going to stick in there, because what's going to happen now is your tab will slide through and pull up like so. There we go. So that will, oh, it's still a little bit sticky. I need to slow down and just let that dry. Right, I'm going to let that dry before I do anything else. I'm rushing. Okay, let me put it to the side. Waterfall card is drying. I'm going to start thinking about my double tag. Now, there's lots of different interpretations of double tag, but I'd quite like to use these two bits that I've cut from the gel print that I used as the background, and just for some cohesion, and I may actually put them on this page somehow. So I'm going to have a think about how I want to do the double tag, but I'm also wondering what my initial thoughts, wondering about making a pocket in this wider one and popping this in it. I quite like this piece here because it's got that lovely flower print on it, and I'm wondering whether I could just I don't think that is quite going to work, but what I might do is to cut across here and actually make it into a pocket, and then make it a double tag in the sense that one slides into the other. So let's have a play and see what happens. I'm also going to have a look for some other bits and pieces to go on the tags. Okay, so I've cut the bottom off that tag, and I think I am going to make that into a little pocket, and I'm going to make this as another tag to go in there. I feel like this needs to be a bit stronger, so I've got a piece of the card left that I made the waterfall card on, so I think I'm going to back it with that. So I'll cut that into a tag and then back those pieces just to give them a bit of strength. So I think to start with, I'm just going to put a thumb notch in here. Just a small one, like that. And that will just indicate that this is a pocket. Alright, so I'm going to ink some edges, cut these into tabs, fiddle around with some of these bits and pieces to decorate the tags, and you can watch along. so there's those two tags finished. So that's my interpretation of the double tag, and you may notice I've got a slightly different eyelet there. When I went to thread the embroidery floss through it, the little eyelet fell out, and I needed to make a bigger hole and put a bigger one in, and of course I didn't have a bigger orange eyelet, so never mind. There we go, that's my double tag. Now what I've got to work out is how to put it all together. So here's the mechanical garden part of my challenge, and the mechanical bit being the waterfall card, so you can see how that works now. You pull the tab and up it all goes beautifully. So given that this is a tab, I am going to put a little thumb notch in the bottom there, like that, just to round it off. Now, so when you attach these into a journal, you only attach this band here, and because I don't want to mess and get glue on this bit, I actually find it easier to use some double-sided tape. The other way to do it, of course, is to glue the band in first and then glue your waterfall card on, but anyway, right, so let's think about how we're going to put all this together. I stamped some little text on these. I don't know if you can see that there. So I'm thinking I might put some text in the background here. I feel it sort of needs something else as well. I'm wondering if I dig out some more lace, maybe something like that. Even that side. The other thing that I have found, which was on the corner of my desk, is this, which is a piece of calico, I think it is, which has been eco-printed, and I some time ago turned it into what I thought might make quite a nice pocket, and I'm wondering whether, gosh, my journal's not lying flat at all, is it, whether to put that on this page and tuck my tags in there, because the colours all sort of tie in. So I might do that whilst I think about what else to do on here. As I say, I just feel it needs something, and that's not it. I do have this, which is a picture of a house and garden sort of printed on vellum, and I'm wondering whether something like that, if I muted some of this white down or got rid of some of this white, I wonder whether that might add a bit of interest to the background. Okay, I'm going to glue this pocket in to put my tags in, and then I will think about that other page. Get rid of those little ends, I don't really want those. And you'll notice that I use this glue for quite a lot of things. If you've seen my videos before, you'll know that this is something called Tiger Grip. It's stronger than PVA and works a bit like Fabri-Tac. So I don't want to cover too much of that page up because, as I say, well, the writing that's on it is actually the names of lots of plants along with their Latin translation, and of course that goes really nicely with the theme of, you know, sort of makes a spread. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to ink around the edge, and I'm going to think about this page. I may add some text to start with and then take it from there, but I think I might do something with this. So I think I'm going to tear around this and just ink the edges so that they sort of mute down a little bit. I don't like the white, and we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so I'm quite happy with this. I think I've just put that little butterfly on there, just I felt that needed something. And I may find a little quote or something to go up here. I've added just a little bit of that same text stamp onto the background here. And I've now got my water-soluble crayon. These are a bit like woody stabilos, I think. And I'm just going to go around the edge of the page, and then I'm going to go over that with a water brush, and that will just soften up those edges and give a little bit of definition. I just feel it needs something there. Alright, I've just left that for a minute to dry, and I'm wondering if that's enough, but I think it probably is. It's just really subtle, but it just gives a little bit of something. So the next thing I'm going to do is to attach these two, and we'll get this finished off. The only other thing is whether this needs something just here on this tab. I do have, I think that's going to be too camouflaged. You know, I might just put a little bit of text on it and leave it for now. Something may come to me as I'm working further in the journal, and if it does, I can always come back. You know, that's the wonderful thing about junk journaling. It never has to be absolutely finished. You can always come back and add a bit more. Right, let's pop a little bit of text on there. There we go. That's just enough, I think. How's that? Can you see that? No, probably not. There we go. All right, I'm going to put all this together. Let's get this wrapped up. It's incredibly, incredibly warm in my creative space today. If any of you have seen my my video of my creative space, you will know that I'm up in a little turret room. Like literally, if you haven't seen it, have a look. And the problem with being up in a little turret room on the roof on a day like today, when it's about 30 degrees outside, it is exceptionally warm up here. Right, remember what I said? I'm just going to use a little bit of double-sided tape on there, because I don't want this back piece sticking. Now, if I was more organised, oh no, I'm going to get away with it. I was going to say, if I was more organised, I would have cut my band to be the right width, but actually it's just about okay. So you can use glue. I'm just not brave enough today. As I say, it's a sweltering day. So all you do is attach that little bit so that this can still pull through. Okay, now this has gone a little bit wrinkly. I'm pretty sure that's going to dry out. I hope it's going to dry out non-wrinkly. We shall see. I don't think a card over it is going to make any difference at this stage. I thought that glue was okay to use on this stuff. Oh, it might be coming out actually. Yeah, cool. It's getting quite difficult to work some places in this journal. It's getting so full. Such enjoyment out of this dephemerember. And big ups to Louise Heinsel and Barbara from 49 Dragonflies. Now, from where you are, I don't think you can quite see that last one, but when you're sitting here, you can. So there we go. There is, let's clear some space. good job you can't see the rest of my room at the moment. All right, so here we go. 25th of December 2024, dephemerember. We have mechanical garden and double tag. So here is our mechanical garden element and a double tag which matches, all on the garden theme. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. As I say, if you celebrate, I do hope you are having the best Christmas ever, or you have had the best Christmas ever if you're watching this a bit later. We look forward to the last few days of this challenge. But for now, ka kite anō and Merry Kirimeti.